everybody? So Jennifer Sherman here again, getting ready for my first period class, high school Spanish. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you guys about ages 12 months to 3 years. So we're at the beginning part of 12 months. And today's topic, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was sleeping at night. So I had a previous episode where we're talking from about 5 months to 12 months old, how to get your child to sleep through the night. Some of you might not be ready to allow your child to sleep without you, or to sleep without waking up in the night. Totally fine. Now that your child is 12 months old, a lot of you guys probably stopped breastfeeding at this point, if you were breastfeeding. If that's a topic you want me to get into also on breastfeeding, getting through it, because it's very difficult, mark it down below, send me an email, and I'd love to teach a class on breastfeeding and just feeding your child in general. So what I want to talk to you guys, though, is about that consistency at night. You'll hear me mention it all the time. We need a nighttime routine. So I'm going to repeat it here for those of you who have not listened to my earlier videos because of the age group. You just weren't interested in knowing about the infancy. What I want is that consistency of your child to go to bed early. So hopefully your child's on a good nap schedule. And my previous episode talked about your child going from 2 naps to 1 nap now that they're 1 year old. What I want you to remember is they're going to be really tired. So come around 7 o'clock at night, they're usually exhausted if they were napping from about 12:30 to 3. 7 o'clock is a great time to get them calm. The lights go down, you read them a story, and then usually they can fall asleep pretty quickly. You do want to, if you've done breastfeeding and they're not waking up in the middle of the night to eat, you talk to them like adults. Let them know, hey, listen, we're going to go to sleep. You're going to sleep all night. It's going to be great. I'm just in the room right next to you. And I'll see you in the morning. So sometimes your kids will respond pretty quickly to that. I was lucky enough to have a husband who was able to go into the room at night for me if my kids were crying while they were breastfeeding, to calm them down so I didn't have to, because otherwise they'd smell my milk. They'd want me to pick them up. I'd usually take on their energy, and he was able to give energy to them. So in the middle of the night, if your kids still aren't sleeping through the night and they're 1, please remember that the earlier you train them, they don't train you. The earlier you train them, the easier it is. If we try to wait until they're about 3 years old to do this, I don't want to ever say it's too late, but it makes it really difficult to be able to teach them these skills later on. We want these skills to be second nature. So you want to put them down. Some people feel that they really want to lay with their kid and get their kid to sleep while they're laying with them. I'm one of those moms who I'm super affectionate and I need my hugs and kisses, but at night I don't want to be touched. I'm very much, of course, like I always want my kids to touch me. As other things, I'm like, oh, like I've had enough hugs for the day. But I didn't want to lay with my kid. I didn't want to build a habit all the time. I would usually lay down in their bed and read a story with them. And then they knew as soon as I was done with the story, I'd roll over, hug and kiss them, and then I would leave. So this way we'd get our snuggle time, we'd get close, and then it was that routine. Okay, done with the story, and maybe even sometimes kids like choices. Now, you can't give them 1,000 choices. No, they can't handle that. So the choice is either, would you like to read 1 book or 2 books tonight? So you're putting the control. They don't realize that you actually have complete control over it. They're thinking they're making the choice. And are they making a choice? Of course they're making a choice. Are they going to choose 2 books? Of course. But it's not a big deal because in your timeline, you have the time to do 2 books. That's why you offered 1 or 2. You don't want to say, should we read 1 book? And then they go, no, I want 5. I want 5 books. Okay, no, that wasn't going to be an option. So if you leave it open-ended, it creates room for a tantrum and for them to argue. So you're setting the stage. I always tell people, for example, when you're getting ready for bed, you want to give them a bath. They don't want to take a bath sometimes, right? So it's, oh, okay, so here's our option. After our bath, would you like to read 2 stories, or would you like to pick out your pajamas first? And then you're still saying, hey, they might, they don't have a choice, they're going to take a bath. Then they have a choice afterward what they're doing. Maybe you say, instead of picking pajamas, obviously they have to get dressed after a bath, so that might not be the best example, but maybe you say, okay, after your bath, I'm going to let you choose. Do you want your red pajamas or do you want your blue pajamas? Make the choice. Okay, and then they're getting in their head, okay, well, I am going to take a bath, but then after that, I get to choose what kind of pajamas I'm wearing. So again, you're giving them some control, but children are children for a reason. They should not have complete control. We'll talk about that as your kid gets older, how you are the one in charge, not your child. Part of that does start with going to bed. This is the rule. In our house, we get ready for bed at this time. In order to get ready for bed, we take a bath, we brush our teeth, and then we lay down and we start reading a story. Sometimes as my children started getting a little bit older, so not at 12 months because that's much easier since they don't talk a lot at least. They say a couple things. And not all of them are walking at that time, but once they get to about 2 or closer to 3, sometimes it would be like, okay, I know you're having so much fun with this train set or building with these blocks. How about we play for 8 minutes? I'm going to set a timer. Let's play for 8 minutes, and after my timer goes off, we're going to read 1 story or 2. And they go, oh, two stories. Oh, okay, cool. Let's pick out our stories. Okay, read this one and this one, Mom. Okay, great. So we have our 2 stories. Now, when we build blocks, what should we do? Should we make like a zoo with your animals and build a whole zoo and talk about the animals? Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to make the houses for the animals. I'm going to do this. So you're creating this happy bedtime routine where they're using their imagination and they understand, oh, I get to play like quality time with my mom on the ground, and then I'm going to read, and then I know everything's fine. You want these happy moments before it's bedtime if they haven't been on that routine to go to bed. Again, if your child is under a year, listen to my videos about getting them to sleep at night because that will be much more helpful. Otherwise, use these little tips. Okay, make a solid bedtime routine. Don't spread your fear onto them. Things should be positive. Give them options, but you control the options that you give them. And then you should have a much smoother transition, especially because they should be pretty happy at that point when you're putting them to bed. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this information. I wish you the best of luck. I know it can be so stressful. Again, I want to say, like, your fears, don't spread that onto them. They are brand new kids, a blank slate, and they deserve to have fun with you and let you get their energy when it comes to happiness and playfulness, and then you set the boundaries. Okay, boundaries are very important, as you will see as we move up our developmental chain. So, love you guys. I mean it. I wish you the best of luck. And if you haven't heard today yet, you are amazing. You are listening to information that's going to help you become a better parent. I cannot wait to hear your stories and how this has helped. Please leave messages down below. Remember to be kind. If you're not kind, I will erase your messages. So have an amazing day, night, year, whatever. I love you. Mean it. Talk later.